Everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of updates to share about Donald Trump and his legal woes. So first, Judge Juan Merchan smacked Trump down in his latest request to delay, cancel, whatever you want to call it, his upcoming hush money trial. This just happened today. The judge said, no, Donald Trump, as usual, is trying to use presidential immunity as a reason to hold off. He's saying, oh, let's wait until the Supreme Court rules and see if they allow me a free pass, a free get out of jail free card for presidential immunity. So Judge Merchan responded and said in part, quote, defendant chose not to raise the defense of presidential immunity until well past the 45 days provided by statute. He also did not raise it in his omnibus motion, in his motions in Lyman, or in his response to the people's motions in Lyman. Defendant's decision is unjustifiable and renders this motion untimely. So no, unless there is an act of God, like I said, Donald Trump will be going to trial in less than 2 weeks. Next up, deadbeat Donnie found a sucker to loan him yet another $175 million to cover that reduced bond for his New York fraud trial. That allows him to appeal that $450 roughly million ruling. And according to Rolling Stone news outlet, Trump and his allies are plotting ways to target New York Attorney General Letitia James. 3 sources spoke with Rolling Stone, and they confirmed that MAGA world attorneys have been, quote, crafting specific novel legal schemes that a Justice Department could use to go after the New York prosecutor. So they say that if Trump becomes president again, he will appoint a far-right U.S. Attorney General who will go after James and any of Trump's other enemies. So this highlights the problem I have with Democrats. When you have a Republican president, they appoint the most far-right extremists. Then you get a Democrat in the White House, and they nominate middle-of-the-road, wimpy moderates because they're so afraid of looking partisan. They're so afraid of being perceived as being too far left. When has the right ever cared? When have they ever given a damn about being perceived as being too far right? So we end up with this completely lopsided political landscape that favors the right. And then the left in this country is never completely represented. We also end up with wimps like Merrick Garland, who sat on his hands and refused to prosecute Trump and his coup clowns until the January 6th Select Committee embarrassed him into taking action. So anyway, enough with my rant. Next is news that Judge Juan Merchan has expanded the gag order he imposed on Trump, and Trump may have already violated that order as of yesterday. The judge previously ruled Trump couldn't talk about or post about anyone who was directly involved in the upcoming trial. Well, after Trump repeatedly attacked the judge's daughter on social media, he said, okay, you're now barred from making public statements about witnesses, jurors, court staff, the district attorney's staff, any family members of the attorneys, the staff members, or the court, or the DA. In his order, Judge Merchan explained, quote, the average observer must now, after hearing defendants' recent attacks, draw the conclusion that if they become involved in these proceedings, even tangentially, they should worry not only for themselves, but for their loved ones as well. Such concerns will undoubtedly interfere with the fair administration of justice and constitutes a direct attack on the rule of law itself. And the judge warned Trump, you will face sanctions if you violate this expanded gag order. So that could be monetary damages. He could face jail time. So we'll see. But Trump is trying a different tactic. Instead of personally attacking the judge or his daughter, Trump shared a clip from a Fox News segment in which the host, Brian Kilmeade, and attorney Jonathan Turley were criticizing the gag order, and they were complaining about the judge's daughter and her ties to the Democratic Party. You know, still nothing from them about maybe Judge Cannon having a little bit of bias being appointed by Donald Trump. They don't care about that. So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how the judge handles this. I mean, this was obviously an attempt to circumvent the gag order. And then it was also just revealed former Trump aide Hope Hicks might be called to testify for the prosecution in this case. She would have had knowledge of the hush money being paid. And that tells you all you need to know about her character as a woman, you know, sitting silently by while Trump paid hush money to a porn star after having an affair with that porn star when his wife had just given birth to their son. Can't wait for Barron to get old enough to understand that one. Anyway, Trump received more bad news this week. There was a Marquette Law School poll that was conducted at the end of last month, and 62% of the poll respondents said that they oppose the idea of former presidents receiving immunity for their crimes that they may have committed when they were in office. Only 20% said they agree with immunity for former presidents. Now, of course, Republican voters just let their hypocrisy hang out because the pollsters asked them then specifically, okay, should Trump receive immunity? All of a sudden, that number increased by 8%. All of a sudden, another 8% of Republicans said, oh, yes, Trump should get total immunity. In other news, Trump and some of his coup clowns have officially appealed the ruling allowing District Attorney Fani Willis to remain on the Georgia RICO case. As you all know, he and his co-defendants have been trying to get her removed from the case or get the whole case thrown out because it was revealed she was having a romantic relationship with her lead prosecutor. So we'll see what the appeals court has to say. I will let you know about that. But Trump is burning through cash in all of these legal battles. And according to the New York Times, Trump spent an average, this is unreal, of $90,000 a day on legal fees for the past 3 years. $90,000 a day for 3 years. Imagine that. And they say that none of that was his own money. And it also sounds like Trump isn't really happy with his attorneys, so he's paying a lot of money for really crappy representation. The Daily Beast had reported a while back, I haven't had a chance to get to this for you guys, but they reported a while back that Trump's team hired private investigators to find out why his attorney screwed up so bad in the E. Jean Carroll case. A source told the Daily Beast that the investigators were trying to determine who had been interviewed and who hadn't. And they found that in the early days of the case, Trump's legal team, which of course changed over time, but his legal team at that time failed to interview several key witnesses. And they said it's something that, quote, should have been a basic step in defending the former president. But you got Alina Habba out there blaming the judge for her incompetence. I mean, whatever helps her get through the day, right? Last but not least, several investors have now admitted to the media that they purchased stock in Truth Social last week because they knew that Trump's fans would start buying it up and pump up the value. And so they were just making a quick buck. So they nearly doubled their money within days. One man named Mohammed Al-Shaludi, I think is how you pronounce it, Shaludi, he purchased $4,000 worth of stock at $37 a share. And then he sold them off just a few days later at the end of the week when it hit $65 a share. And Shaludi told Reuters news outlet, quote, "It was a no-brainer. You buy the stock, wait for Trump's fan base to hear about it, and enjoy your profit." Another investor said, quote, "I invested $10,000 last Tuesday because MAGA is crazy and they will pump the stock." But yeah, there's a lot of cope going on, even in my comments section, from Trump supporters trying to, oh, he made so much money. He doesn't care. They clearly do not understand how stock works. It is literally just a figment of your imagination. It is a fig Newton of your imagination until you cash it out. It's not actual money until you cash in that stock, which he can't do for 6 months. Aw, there kind of goes. You tried. You tried. I give you kudos for the effort. A plus for effort. F on the facts. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.